That's raps.
You had to do something terrible because my mom put up with me for like 15 years, bro. She's put up with me for as long as I've been on this earth, and I am a terrible, like, I annoy her. So.
What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm here with my homeboy, the man himself, Henry, aka the Beaner.
Henny G.
Hennessy, what? Hennessy the Fifth.
Hennessy Venom right here, dude.
What's up? I got my homeboy, my cowboy friend, named Henry. And Henry, what's your name, date of birth? What do you go by?
Do I have to say my social security number too?
That too.
So my name's Henry Garcia. Some people call me Henny G, but not really. They just call me Henry. And date of birth, correct?
Yeah.
6707-2007.
Social security too. And then can you also tell us your credit card number with those 3 wacky digits on the back?
It's 123-456-78910.
Thank you. So I'm here with Henny G. Henry, how's your day been? How was the trip over here?
Pretty good. Just like a half day. I have a little bit of a transmission issue, but that shouldn't be too bad.
It's okay. Nobody needed transmission.
Yeah, the transmissions are useless anyways.
Yeah, for real. So Henry, I got a couple of questions for you, bucko.
All right.
If you had a theme song for your life, what would it be? Like every time you woke up, like this song played.
I would have to say Last Friday Night by Katy Perry.
That's actually awesome, bro. Dude. I said the Golden Girls theme song before, but like
I would say that or like the Elmo theme song, like the beginning to it. Elmo's World.
Or what about you know what'd be sick? A Minecraft song. Like from 2012, like those Minecraft parodies. The original Minecraft one. Not the parodies. The original.
Did you ever read those books on Minecraft?
I got one, yeah.
I had all 4 of them. All 4 of the books.
You were a Minecraft millionaire.
You know the funny thing is that I had all the books. I did not own the game Minecraft. I read all the books, and then when I finally got the game, I was like, oh my god, I know everything. It's pretty cool.
You were prepared, bro.
Very prepared.
If you were arrested, who would you call with your one call, and why?
Honestly, I'd call my sister.
Mike.
My sister or Mike, because either one of them would calm my mom down and be like, hey, he's fine. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I feel like Mike would just start laughing at you.
He would start laughing at me. He'd be like, what did you do? And he'd start laughing.
What did you do? I beat up 15 homeless ladies. Oh, what a chump. I beat 16 up when I was your age.
When I was your age, I beat up 6 homeless men.
Dude, Mike is something else. We should have Mike on the podcast.
Oh, wow. You have to edit out so many curse words with that man.
Dude, Mike on the podcast would go crazy. Oh, Mike. Funky Master. You, me, and JP.
Oh, dude, JP's gonna yell at Funky Master from across the room.
I need to get more microphones first.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Funky Master. Or bring your BYOM, bring your own microphone.
Have you ever tried a pickup line on a girl and did it work?
I have tried a pickup line on a girl. So I don't remember quite. I remember like the basis of the pickup line, but it wasn't like something special. I think it was like something like a dollar bill, like it was something, right? Mm-hmm. But I said it, and I was like, that tanked like terrible, right? And then all of a sudden, I'm like walking back like to my little table. This is at Quinta, by the way. I was walking back to my little table, and I was like, oh, like all in defeat. And I get tapped on my shoulder, and I'm like, turn around. It worked, bro. It worked. Can you believe that?
What was the pickup line?
I don't remember. It was a long night that night, but somehow it was like I remember like the feeling of shoop, and then it just tanks, and I'm like, oh, that failed so it's like miserably, but I guess not. Rhythm with the tism. That's what you gotta do.
Rhythm with the
tism.
I like that.
Oh yeah.
My girl loves my tism.
Some do, some don't.
Some girls are. If your girl, I feel like this. If your girl can't handle you being autistic, then
she can't handle you.
Yeah, she doesn't deserve you. If she can't have you at your most autistic, she shouldn't have you at your least autistic. That is what I think.
That is the message. I don't know. I know personally, I like the older girls, so that they kind of know what they're getting into with me. So with me personally, they're like, oh, I'm the younger one, I'm the more mature one. You know what's up. You see, but like that's why whenever
Moms?
not moms depends. No, that was a joke. No,
Would you ever date one of your friends' moms?
no, I feel like that's disrespectful. Like I joke about it sometimes, but to me that's disrespectful. You know.
Get over here, son.
Get over your son. I'll be your stepdad. You know.
Doesn't Johnny have a crush on your mom?
Jonathan does have a crush on my mom, 1,000%. There's no way he doesn't.
Okay, give us the evidence.
The evidence? I can't say that. Just ask Mike, okay?
Mike has said he's a little pervert.
He has said that. He has said that a lot.
Is Mike right?
I don't know. Most likely. I don't know. Jonathan came over one time with when Mike, like when none of my parents were there. We were hanging out, and he was like, "Oh, or no, my mom was there. Mike wasn't there." And he's like, "Oh, where's the bald dude?" Like instantly, the funniest thing.
Oh, he's not here right now. Oh, really?
Where's the bald dude? And I'm like, bro, that's my mom. Get out. Okay. I'm like, listen here, buddy. I can kick you out. She can't. Get out.
She can't or she doesn't want to. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Henry's mom is like one of the sweetest ladies I've ever met. Extremely funny. She loves me. Your mom loves me.
She does.
I feel.
Yeah, she's like one of my. You're one. You're one of her favorite friends of mine. There you go.
Nice.
That's what we're looking for.
Nice. That's the tism kicking in. No, but I think we should talk about the fat girl incident.
What fat girl incident?
Yeah.
The Walmart fat girl incident?
The fat girl incident.
The
fat girl. The incident that led Henry on this tangent for years.
Are we talking about the Snapchat one?
Of him loving fat girls.
I do not love fat girls.
Any fat girls in the audience, he loves them. He
not like fat
But there's a limit. You have to be minimum 330 pounds.
Jeez.
Minimum. And 5'3".
5'3", 300.
Yep.
That's like an NFL linebacker right there.
So let's hear it, Henry.
Fat girl incident?
How did you come to liking fat girls?
I do not like fat girls. I cannot answer this question.
Let's hear the story.
What, the story?
Yeah.
Well, I just got a random ad on Snapchat, and I was like, ooh, she's kind of cute because she only sends face snaps. If she only sends face snaps, do not go for it. That means something's up. But yeah, only face snaps, right? And I'm like, she looks a little bit chunky, but who knows? Like, who knows? Go for it, right? Might as well. See her in person. Face just drops. I'm like, no way. And I'm out of there as quickly as I was in there. What can I say?
I remember that incident like it was yesterday.
I think it was a year ago now.
A little over a year.
A little over a year ago. Because I was still like 5'3" at that time.
You were not 5'3".
No, I was like 5'6".
You were like my height.
No, I was like 5'6".
Like, are you?
Yeah.
On your school ID, it shows that you look like a kid.
I have my school ID actually. I do look like a little kid. Do I? Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Who knows? But I do like a little kid. My license ID, two completely different people. I have like such a baby face, and then now it's like I'm finally like growing in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your head looks so small.
Yeah. Well, it's because the haircut, honestly. But I start wearing hats more. Kind of covers the big old forehead. I don't have a big old forehead, but like kind of like.
There's a head.
There's a head there, yes, but
it's not. It's not an attractive head. Can a head be attractive?
Depends.
Like not somebody's face, just their head.
Their head. I don't think so. I feel like the head shape's kind of like an odd way to like attract things.
Yeah, but then again,
like a face could be attractive, but like teeth could be attractive. Teeth could be unattractive. I feel like the general face shape, yeah, but like the shape of the head depends. If you have like an alien shaped cranium, then it's like you're cooked. Oh, okay. If you're a bald black man, it's a baby. What? The Terry Crews incident?
Terry Crews met my dad at Walmart one time.
Did he actually?
No, I'm just kidding.
No, just like some random black dude.
My dad's like, "You're Terry Crews." He's like, "Bro, what are you talking about?" And my dad's like, "Nah, you're Terry Crews."
You're Terry Crews. I'm telling you, you're Terry Crews.
Bro, do you know? I know you're a man who loves, Vicente Fernandez,
country music.
So do you? Do you like Chalino Sanchez?
A little bit, yes. I've heard of him.
Have you heard what happened the night he died?
Yes, I have.
You want to hear a little bit more?
Sure.
So, for those who don't know, Chalino Sanchez is a singer. I would suggest listening to him if you like that music, and if you're brown, you should already be listening to him.
Very good music, guys. All
Good.
the drunk uncles play it.
Oh, for sure. When they're crying, like, Maria,
Maria left me.
Maria left me. So, I'm going to pull up the story. On May 15th, 1992, 4 months after the Coachella incident, that's a whole nother incident with Chalino, he was performing in, I'm going to butcher this, Culiacan?
Culiacan? I don't know. Yeah, it sounds about right.
Culiacan. In the video, so there's a video, you can look it up, of Chalino being handed a note by an audience member.
Yeah, I saw this video.
And he just like looks around and keeps like performing, right? Well, after midnight, he drove away from a club with two of his brothers. And what happened after that was he drove away with two of his brothers, a cousin, and several young women. These were not minors. Okay, let's make that very clear.
It's Mexico. Let's be honest.
Anyways, don't give Mexico any more of a bad name than they already have. Okay, they're pulled over by a bunch of armed men, right? Unmarked cars. They showed state police ID cards, and basically told Chalino that they wanted to see him. Well, he got into one of their cars, and the other people followed behind. So then, after that, at 6 a.m., same day, May, two farmers found his body by an irrigation canal near Highway 15.
An irrigation canal.
Irrigation canal. He was blindfolded and it had his wrist with rope marks. He had been shot in the back of the head.
So they executed him.
Yeah.
For like full execution stuff. I feel like that's a lot of like I feel like that's a lot of the modern cartel killings is all like execution killings. No?
Like, dude, that's if you get lucky.
Yeah. Well, honestly, no, because I feel like most of the killings are either like by like torture, by like starvation, but like execution is like the main. You're not gonna see them like shooting people down the street. They're gonna grab them first and then go for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you? I've already told this story before, but you know Juan Luis?
Juan Luis, no. Actually, I believe I do. I believe you told me about him once.
He's like a 17-year-old kid who basically would be like just drinking, chugging all this stuff. He went crazy on Facebook. All the Mexican moms loved him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, from what I heard, he was pretty funny, but he ended up getting too drunk and said F, like, you know, F in Spanish, of course, F this cartel member.
Oh yeah.
Or like the leader of a family.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, by two cars with four guys hopped out with AK-47s. Yeah. They shot him up. He had, I believe, 18 bullet holes when the whole bar that he was at.
Oh yeah.
So
the crazy thing is that cartels, I don't believe they're like classified as terrorist organizations yet. I know that they've been trying to do that.
They should.
They should 100%.
They do worse stuff than terrorists.
Yeah. Well, depends. It's just like the different region, but essentially they ran the same. There's like the head, because it's all like through like a military like tier list. So it goes like bottom end to the very top. So essentially they ran the same as the military. So I don't. And have you seen that video? Remember when was it Pablo Escobar's? Not Pablo Escobar's. What Pablo Escobar's son? No. El Chapo's son, right? Mm-hmm. He got captured. Yes. Remember all the videos of all like the Trackhawks, the Hellcats, all of them like zooming down the road going to grab them. Yeah, that was crazy. Like the armor, like the makeshift armor trucks. Bro, that's some straight military stuff. You don't see that every day.
And I think, I don't want to say too much about this stuff. Yeah, because obviously we know nothing about this stuff. We've never been near it, and we don't know anybody in it. So
this is all public information.
This is all public information. This is nothing that is like... This is all public information. This is nothing that we're saying that should put us in potential danger at all.
Oh, we'll be fine.
We're not naming anybody, just to be clear. Okay?
No disrespect is meant.
No disrespect is meant. No, this is no harmful intent
I'm just a kid who went through the American education system. Okay, my bad.
I'm just a little brown boy in a little brown world.
Makes sense, guys.
But so I don't. This is on the news, but basically in Mexico, El Salvador, I believe, that people say it's like a common occurrence to see body parts
Just fly down.
Yeah, just flying over bridges, people being hung, people with their like nuts and stuff chopped off, their guts hanging out, like. And I think that's crazy. Like, imagine driving by every day and seeing that stuff.
Yeah. Well, to them, there's always the whole argument about like the border situation, and that's why people are so scared of them coming over. Because for them, it's been like so long of that it's normal. Cause I believe it's Venezuela, where the entire like prison system pretty much took over the country. Yeah, like it's like actively going on. So like all the prison gangs got together and were like, because essentially the prisons were their own little cities in Venezuela. They ran everything. They would buy toilet paper from the outside and get it run inside. So it was literally just it wasn't a prison. It was just like a city within walls, you know. Yeah. And essentially they just brought that out and like took over the whole country, which is a crazy thing to think about, how that can just happen like that.
That's what I'm saying, and it also kind of shows you what kind of power we have, no matter where we're at. So I believe you can use that power for either good or bad. Yeah. Especially in prison too.
Like COs, none of them. Like you'll hear all these these prison guys on TikTok. They're always like the COs don't run anything. Like it's the gangs who run everything in there.
You know, in I believe this is in most prisons in Texas. Most of them run by race. Yeah. So 100%. I know this isn't really something with the new like younger kids.
It's not like a racism thing. It's like
where they grew up.
It's just like a traditional thing. Like it's been so long that they've been separated. It's just like this is how it goes now. Yeah. It's set in stone, sort of. Yeah,
it's like an unspoken rule. Like if you choose, like even for mixed kids or mixed people that go into prison.
White guys, with black guy, you go to black guys.
Yeah, and even like, for example, all my like friends growing up were all black. But if I were to go, Lord forbid that ever happened. But if I were to go, I'd forced to be with the Mexicans.
Yeah, it's not. Certain prison systems aren't like that, like the lower end, but like maximum security prisons, from what I heard, is like it's like set in stone, because it's most of the guys in there, they die there, like that's their home, so it's set in stone of what rules go on, what goes on, what doesn't go on, which is like that's a crazy thing to think about sometimes. Like people who get life in prison, that is their home now, like their home is a cell. I find that like a crazy topic to think about.
I think it's crazy to think about the fact that people can for real run whole like regimes in
like
prison.
One person can have that much power.
Exactly, but at this I do want to ask you this. Do you know what happened? Do you know what chomos are?
Yeah, 1000%.
Do you know what happens to chomos in prison?
Everyone knows.
You know, for those who don't know, chomos are, I'm not gonna say it, but basically they're people who do really bad things with underage kids.
Kitty diddlers, that's my favorite TikToker calls them.
Kitty diddlers?
He calls them it's this one guy, he's like some ex-prison inmate, he calls them kitty diddlers. It's funny.
Bro, what the heck?
But yeah, those guys, what happens.
As soon as they hit that yard or that cell,
they're gone.
If they find out like what you did, you're done for.
Yeah, no.
If you get lucky, you'll die instantly.
Yeah.
But if not, they'll
continuous beatings, and like
continuous beatings. They'll beat you to death.
Yeah, 100%. Have you ever like the tattoos in prison? They're real cool, like homemade tattoo guns.
That's like isn't it crazy to think that if you lock somebody in
a cell for long enough, they can figure out how to make a homemade tattoo gun, right?
They can figure out how to make a homemade tattoo gun, a shank. Some people are able to literally manufacture and put together like radios.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, I feel like a human can do anything with enough boredom. You know, you ever got like really bored and started doing random things, and it's kind of just like, oh, I can do this now. Like all of a sudden, like I did that like one time with like shuffling cards, and I know how to shuffle cards like a pro. So it's like
the power of boredom is strong.
The power of boredom is very strong, especially when you're a teenage boy.
Oh, bro, don't even.
It is terrible,
bro. But there's this one story of this guy who basically, it was I'll call this guy the unluckiest prisoner on earth. So the unluckiest prisoner on earth is a man who, when he got booked, he went into his cell, and his cellmate was someone doing life because he murdered somebody who he suspected to be connected with the killing and raping of his daughter.
Yeah,
so
that was a lot. Yeah.
So basically, the other guy, the kitty diddler, he got arrested for killing and raping a girl who was 12 years old.
Yeah.
He went into the cell, and the cellmate's like, "Hey, what'd you do?" And he's like, "What are you here for?" "Well, I killed somebody in connection to killing and raping my 12-year-old daughter."
Yeah.
That guy in the cell with him was the same guy who did that to his daughter.
Oh.
So what
they
pretty much set that boy up, like, oh, I don't know what happens.
Yeah.
But the dude, what he did is, the story is, they cornered the chomo. They cornered the kitty diddler. Sorry, I can't say that without laughing, bro. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
They cornered the kitty diddler. They held him back, and the guy slowly heated up a shank, like a metal shank.
So it just cuts like butter, yeah. But it
Yeah.
cuts and it cauterizes on the way down, so he doesn't bleed.
Exactly. So when he did it, he slowly did it. Like, he would just slowly did that until the guy died.
Yeah, like
and then
knife through butter type.
Exactly. And I think I'm gonna call that guy the unluckiest prisoner on earth.
Yeah, 100%.
Because he got booked in the same place where he did that to some guy's daughter.
Yeah.
And the guy got his get back.
That could be a coincidence. I mean, they have to know that that case is connected to each other. There's no way that's just a coincidence. There had to have been something behind there.
Exactly. And I feel like most old school judges will purposely
do that, yeah.
Put them in cells with murderers, because these guys don't have anything to lose.
Especially with lifers, like with guys doing short times, I feel like they would care a lot more, because you can get extra time added onto your sentence for killing somebody. Yeah, you can get extra time knocked on there. So if you're doing life, I wouldn't want to mess with those guys personally, because what do they have to lose?
Exactly. And what they do is, this is what I've heard about the prison system. Again, this is all public stuff that's out there. What I've heard is that what they do is they'll extort the prisoners. So anytime the prisoner gets commissary, anytime the kitty diddler gets, they'll make you buy extra stuff for them, so that way you won't get killed or beaten to death, or beaten.
Essentially, it's like blackmail almost. Not exactly but essentially that's the basis of it.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's just you did this. Well, guess what's gonna happen to you unless yada yada yada.
Because most of the guys, their rule is you don't mess with women. You leave women and children alone.
Well, that's always been the rule. Even way back then.
Yeah, but I feel like throughout history, you don't mess with women and children.
Yeah, that's why every time you see like a man who abuses his wife and kids, once another man steps in, those guys always crumble, because it's you feel so powerful over women and children. What are they gonna do?
Exactly.
But then another man stands in front of them. They're they just fold under it.
Exactly. They fold. Yeah.
They physically and literally fold.
Like a taco.
Yeah, like a taco. Is it?
It's crazy, man. But so there's something else that I was kind of thinking about. There's another story where do you know Robert Pickton? Do you know Piggy Palace Massacre?
No.
So Robert Pickton is this guy in the, I want to say, 80s to 90s. If I'm not mistaken. Correct in the comments. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Prior to 2000s, at least.
Prior to 2000s. This was when around the 80s, 90s, because this was when cocaine was more. It was starting to get more attention.
80s, 90s, yeah.
So he had a warehouse with his brother. And this would be it was called Piggy Palace because they would butcher pigs, I believe. Again, I know I said this a lot, but if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, because I could be wrong. But from what I know, him and his brother would butcher pigs and sell them, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they started seeing people throwing parties and raves and stuff like that. Like all these crazy parties, get high, whatever, and they would kidnap like tens of people,
And
like,
take him to the slaughterhouse.
take them to the slaughterhouse, and they would essentially murder them.
Yeah.
And they didn't get found out until they had at least like 20 something, I think.
Well, because you can cover that up real easily, especially on pigs.
Especially with pigs.
Slaughterhouse. That is. There was this one story I was looking into.
Yeah.
It was I don't remember like the exact names, but this dude had a chicken farm. I believe it was a chicken farm, and he would lure in little boy like missing like little boys, and he would take them to the farm with his mother, and he would essentially like kill him and bury him under a chicken farm, but there never was any suspicion of it because chickens, right?
Yeah, it's a chicken farm.
It's a chicken farm.
So here's the case study. Robert William Picton and the Piggy Palace murders, Canada's most notorious killer, is responsible for 49 different women, mostly consisting of prostitutes and drug addicts.
It's always prostitutes and drug addicts that are like the primary targets because
They're the easiest.
well, first like on the easiest, yes, but throughout like even pimps nowadays they'll actually like hold the IDs from them, so there's no like unless they have tattoos and like family members know that they have like that's their tattoos, you can't identify them.
Exactly.
No ID, no like anything. Like they're essentially just off their grid.
Pretty much. I mean, because then again, like, what did they have to lose? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then drug addicts too. It's the same thing. It's like no IDs. That's why a lot of them can't get into work sometimes because they don't got valid IDs. So it's like, oh, he's not really who he says he is. Like you can always say like you're a person, somebody, but there's always gonna be someone out there that doesn't believe you.
That's what I mean. Is like it's easier when you have proof, but when you don't, like, who's gonna believe?
It's
you?
real easy to get to like be called a liar.
Caught up in that stuff.
People will believe you lie more than like you tell the truth. Like if even if you're known for telling the truth, the first thought is always, oh, he's lying about this. Especially for something big like that, like, oh, someone's murdering someone in a pig slaughter factory.
Yeah, and then they're like, "How someone's murdering someone?" Well, you're a drug addict. So
Yeah, well, you're a drug addict and you're a prostitute. It's like they get looked down on
exactly
just because of their line of work.
I mean, you can't really blame them. They built up that reputation.
Yeah, well, life is all about reputation. Like essentially, if you have a bad reputation, like no one's gonna trust you, no one's gonna believe you. But if you build a reputation as like a person like someone could trust, then they're more likely to trust you. There's always gonna be people think that you're lying. Everywhere, everyone's gonna think that you're lying. But if you build up enough reputation, it's like, oh, like I can trust that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
All the time.
So there's another little story. Actually, not even a story. There's something I do want to ask you about. Do you know and some people might not know this, but there's controversy over black men in Hollywood wearing dresses.
Yeah.
Do you know about that?
Just a little bit, yeah.
So, I feel Hollywood, okay, everyone knows Hollywood's already corrupt. It's corrupt enough. Like, everybody knows that Hollywood is very corrupt. Drugs, money, prostitution, and in some cases,
it's a very dark place you wouldn't want to be.
Exactly, and they're good at hiding a lot of it.
They hide it behind all the cars and the money, but deep down it's like, oh, like this isn't the life I imagined.
Exactly, and one thing that I always found very interesting is that a lot of almost I guarantee almost all black actors in Hollywood who have never worn a dress, who speak out against that, die when they're young. Yeah. Not even young, but when it seems they're old enough to where it's like, okay, that person's old.
You know what's funny?
But they're young.
Before you even said they die young, the first person that came to my mind was Chadwick Boseman.
Exactly.
That's the first person that hit my mind before you said they die young.
He's never worn a dress. He was a Christian.
Yeah.
And he was a very like masculine man. Well, if you look at Wesley Snipes,
when you say Hollywood, you mean like actors, not like comedians, all that. You mean like strictly like actors, or is it like actors, comedians, rappers, all that? Or is it just like
what I'm talking? Well, I do think rapper. I think the rap game and Hollywood are two different things.
Yeah,
they're different, but they're the same. If that makes sense.
Level, yeah, almost.
So with I'll get to rappers here in a little bit, but with Hollywood, the black men in Hollywood, I feel like are set up to be demasculated because
100%, yes.
because I feel that the higher ups are I feel like definitely the higher ups are afraid, and let's face it, white probably.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that what I'm not saying is that there's still lots of racism nowadays. I mean, yes, some people are racist, but it's not as dominant as it was.
Everyone has their own prejudices against people.
Yeah.
You don't have to put like the label racism on it. Yeah, yes, people are still racist, but there's always going to be hatred in the world. Let's put it like that.
Exactly, and I think they do that on purpose to make more men to comfort more men in being less masculine. For example, Chris Tucker, he was a strong comedian. He's a strong actor, but he says he's a Christian, but he doesn't really do Christian things. He's worn dresses before, which is cross-dressing, which is forbidden in the Bible, you know?
You can lie about being Christian, but you can't, like, people can lie all they want about being Christian, but you can't, like, you're not gonna fool. You can only fool so many people.
Exactly.
Until you get caught.
That's what I'm saying, is like, you can fool a lot of people, but the real Christians know when you're
being a fraud, yeah.
When you're being a fraud, yeah. But do you know Tommy Lee Leister?
No, never heard of him.
You've seen Friday.
Friday, yes.
The Debo?
Debo, the tall black dude?
Yeah, big old guy?
Yeah, big dude.
That's Tommy Leister.
Okay.
So Tommy Leister, he came out as that role, and then he converted, like for real converted. He would start preaching in prisons. He would start preaching, like he was just very upfront about his faith and unashamed. Well, his acting career went downhill, not only, and also he died at 64. And he told people before he died, he had said, yeah, Hollywood is very evil. Like, they try to get me to wear a dress. I won't wear a dress. They're upset. They're afraid. This, and this. He's like, I'm not going to go along with what they say.
Yeah.
Well, when he died, let's see how he died first. Let's see how he died.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean, Hollywood's all about money. It's all, everything in every, like, when people say money is the root of all evil, it's a yes or no. Because yes, money can help you, but there's such thing as too much money. Like, yeah, like having a Lamborghini is cool, right? Like, it's cool rolling down the road really fast, right? But when you get to a certain point where you're getting involved with other people with a lot of money, like with like billions, millions of dollars, right? Then it's like something like there has to be evil to make a lot of money. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one becomes a billionaire out of the goodness of their heart. You have to cut people off. You have to do evil things to get money.
Exactly. So, what was I gonna say? Sorry. I think that it's very hard to make it in today's world, especially if you're not willing to cooperate with certain people.
Oh yeah, because even as a Christian, like, as a Christian, you're gonna get persecuted by people.
All the time.
There's no reason to be scared about it.
Exactly, because you're gonna get persecuted either way. Would you rather be?
The way I look at this, you ever seen like the Satanists, like all those like the preachers and all that? Notice how they're always like, no, like don't even speak God's name inside of like they're like what do they call it? Like their temple?
Yeah.
Like almost like their church, but like they're like don't even speak of His name because just like that, it's all gone.
But you also have to realize that's also the demons speaking.
Yeah.
That's not them.
It's not them. Yeah.
Because
that just shows that the devil's scared of God. Like, there's no reason to be scared if you're a Christian. And like all the fear and anxiety of like while you're a Christian, it shouldn't be there. That's another thing. Like, I guarantee you this. What was his name? Tommy
Leister.
Tommy Leister. I guarantee you he knew exactly what was going to go, like how it was going to go down.
Exactly.
But if you're not scared, you're not human, right? Like, I can guarantee he was scared for his life at one point, and during like while in Hollywood, while preaching out about this. He wasn't. I don't think he ever had like that total darkness fear. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Where it's like, oh, like I'm scared, like my hands are like moving a little bit, but not like,
I'm scared, but still, frick you.
You still keep on going. He never got to like that complete like utter darkness. It's just like, I give up. Like, I'm done speaking. Like, I'll cave in.
Exactly, and a lot of people are blackballed from Hollywood because of that. I mean, this one actor. Do you know the guy? Do you know the guy from Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 with 2 different colored eyes?
I believe so. Yes.
So he became a Christian immediately after he was blackballed from Hollywood. Nobody wanted to work with him because he became a Christian. But let's see. Back on what I was saying about the black man in Hollywood and dresses. So Tommy Leaster Jr. is an actor, and he died because of coronary artery disease. Now let's first look at what that was. Yeah. It is damage or disease in the heart's major blood vessels. So what are causes? What causes it? Plaque buildup of the wall and arteries that supply blood to the heart. Smoking or having high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, obesity, or strong family history of heart disease. So let's assume let's assume that his family had a long history of that stuff. I don't see him dying at 64, because he seemed like he was a very healthy.
He seemed like he was very fit.
He was fit. He was healthy.
Even if he took, I mean, the only thing that I could
and he
speed that up was steroids.
He didn't take steroids. He was a bodybuilder. He was a wrestler before he was Debo, but I think that's
another thing. If he was a wrestler, wrestlers most of the time won't take steroids. Like I've known a lot of wrestlers. I've known some wrestlers that take steroids, and they always said, I regret taking steroids because it made him go from like this fast, snappy wrestler to like this big, bulky, like clunk almost. Like it was like sluggish movement.
Yeah. You
ever feel that like whenever you have like a lot of water weight, you feel like real sluggish. You can't like be like snappy like that. That's how they said they felt.
Exactly. So I think that they honestly, I do think that because of all the evidence, because Tommy Leaster, the guy who played Debo, I do think that because he spoke out against Hollywood, because he was a Christian, it led to him being killed, and they put it off as coronary artery disease.
They can put it off as anything.
No
one truly knows if he even had that in the first place.
Only God does. What I think is sad is that a good man had to die because he wouldn't comply with the evil agenda.
Wear a dress, yeah.
And it might not even be only because he didn't wear a dress, but because he spoke out against that, and they don't want that stuff to be spoken out against.
Garcia thing going on.
Exactly.
You heard about that? The whole Ryan Garcia thing going on? Like, have you researched that at all?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Well, just off of base, like everything that everyone's saying is like you know about Bohemian Grove, correct? Like it's a real place, but no one really like bunch of security. Like there's gates.
Reiterate it for me.
So Ryan Garcia, correct? You heard about the whole situation of him. Like everyone's saying he's going crazy and all that. And yes, it could be because of CTE, but I don't see a young boxer like that having CTE, especially how he's still moving. Have you seen like his recent training videos?
Yes.
Everyone's saying he's been cloned and all that, and you can see that he's a little bit less like snappy as he was, right? And It doesn't give like clear signs of CTE. Like yes, he's slowing down a little bit, but also he's getting older. But he's still a young boxer, so I don't see CTE in that.
That's what I mean. Also, like, then again, Ryan Garcia has been. I'm not. Just to be clear, I'm not like trying to destabilize what you're saying. What I'm trying to say is that he's kind of been all over the place.
Yeah.
But I can see why he'd be like, you know what? I'm here. I'm all over the place. Man, forget this. I'm speaking out.
Yeah.
I can see that because a lot of the world is very corrupt.
But did you hear the phone call he had with Andrew Tate?
I did not.
You did not? Well, essentially, he said that, and in his own words, I believe he said, like, not exact quotations, but he said they held him down and they made him watch little kids get raped, which is insane to me. And they said that, and he said that it happened at Bohemian Grove, which is, I believe, in Colorado. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Let's look it up.
I believe it's in Colorado, but essentially, it's where all like the American like higher elites meet in the middle of like the forest, and essentially it's like I don't want to say like a cult, but like a gathering of sorts.
No, it's definitely a cult.
That for sure a cult, but gathering.
Is in.
I believe it's in Colorado.
California. Let's see. Okay, let's see where in California.
But yeah, essentially it's off of like a small town. It's just off the road into the middle of the forest. But everyone in that town, they've been interviewed and they won't talk about it. But there's security. Yeah, there's security. There's a bunch of stuff. Like security, gates, 24/7 security, by the way. I'm pretty sure they have dogs there. It's like it's a real secure place, right?
Exactly. And why would a forest be that secure?
Why would a forest be that secure?
What I think is another thing is that you notice how people are that slowly destabilizing California as a whole, because I don't know if you've seen, but there's a new rule. There was a new rule in, I believe, San Fran, where if you stole from a store,
$950.
$950.
Nothing. If it's a misdemeanor.
It's the misdemeanor, and they're doing that so that way chaos goes on over there, so people don't focus their eyes on what's really happening.
Also, like the lack of the Second Amendment in California is baffling to me, because I've pretty much grown up my entire like life in Texas, and traveling like out of state, like even to like Virginia, and seeing that many people not carry a firearm is baffling to me. Which is also why, like, if anyone was stealing in Texas, like, say so you see someone stealing from like your local HEB, someone's flashing a firearm, exactly. Whether you like it or not.
Exactly. And I think that they do that to take away our firearms, but it's stupid to take away our firearms, because
they're never gonna take away our firearms. No matter how hard they try, they can up the prices of the bullets, but even if they recall all the firearms, there's always
people know how to make their own.
Yeah, make your own, and there's always gonna be illegal firearms.
Exactly,
Criminals
but
are always gonna find a way.
What I'm talking about is criminals getting those guns, because criminals can get their hand. Do you know how easy it is to get your? I don't know from experience. It is. I don't know from experience, but do you know how easy it is to get your hands on an illegal gun?
We live in America. There's so many guns that can be stolen from places, from people. Like just recently, my brother had his gun stolen from his truck, and he reported it stolen. All that, like, went through all the procedures, right? And that, who knows where a firearm, like say like a firearm gets stolen from like someone's house in the middle of the night, right? Who knows where that firearm's gonna end up? Who knows if we're gonna scratch off the serial number?
Yeah,
that's just like that. It's off the face of the earth, and there's no way you can track it besides finding it on somebody.
And it's easy. It's so easy to do that, because what you can do is you can easily simply break into a firearms store and get the guns, get the rounds. You can easily scratch off the. It's surprisingly easy to scratch off the serial number. Mm-hmm. So I think that they do it so that they can, one, keep their citizens in danger and in fear and delusion, and two, so they can hide what's really happening in California, which is a lot of crime, a lot of hidden things, chaos,
drug crisis, fentanyl, all that.
Exactly. Fentanyl turns people into zombies, essentially.
Legitimately, like, not. Have you seen the videos of people nodding out?
Yes.
There's this video I saw of two parents nodding out in front of their child in a stroller, and I saw that, and like immediately I didn't feel bad. That sounds terrible to say, but immediately it was like this is just normal now. Like it's almost like normal to see people just like nodding out everywhere, especially in California now. So you don't feel bad for them, because you're like you see what's going on around you, and yet you still did it. Which is why it's like can you feel bad or can you not feel bad, like, sort of dilemma, you know?
What my philosophy to everything is, this is my simple answer for everything that I feel bad about or everything that happens in the world. Eventually, I know I'm going to heaven. Mm-hmm. Because I know I'm going to heaven, not because of what I've done, not because of what I've said to people, not because of anything like that, because I'm not perfect. I've said mean things. I've said good things. I've prayed for people. I've done all these things.
No one's perfect. It's how you leave your impression on people. Like,
it's not even that.
If people knew you as a bad I know, but if people knew you as a bad person, it would make like on your legacy just here on earth. Like your kids would be like, oh, that guy's like the bad person.
Exactly.
But you don't want to leave that impression. You want to leave the impression of that man was a man of God. Like we know where he's at.
Exactly. And I think that a lot of people say, how do I know I'm going to heaven? The simple answer is, you know for a fact that you're going to heaven, because I know for a fact I'm going to heaven because I believe that Jesus died for my sins. And while I don't deserve to go to heaven at all, I don't. I deserve to be separated from God. But because Jesus came and he said, nah, I see you. You're imperfect, but let me make you perfect.
Mm-hmm. Let me help you.
Let me help you. That's what being a Christian is all about. I believe in Jesus, and I try my best every day to live for him and spread his word and try to at least, let people know that I'm a Christian, try to treat people better. I'm not good at it because I make a lot of mean jokes.
Everyone still has to learn, yeah.
Everybody has to learn.
And again, we're still very young. I saw this one quote around, I don't know where I saw it. I saw it somewhere. But it was like, imagine seeing like a friend in heaven and like them thanking you for you introducing them to Jesus Christ, and that was like, cause to me Jesus is love. That's all. Like everyone could be like, oh, like Jesus is this, Jesus is that. Like no, like he's loving you no matter what. Like
exactly, yeah.
it's up to you to love him back. You know.
And I think this is gonna get serious for a second.
Oh, yeah.
Just letting y'all know this is gonna get serious. The way Jesus can fix you, like Jesus really fixed me. I used to be such a hateful person.
Dude,
I used to be.
The amount of hate that was like running through my body is insane. Like it's weird when you wake up every day, like in the morning, and the only reason you get out of bed is because of hate, and like that's the only reason you keep working on yourself. Because like, I mean, you see all these guys with big old muscles, right? And like a lot of them, they started off their journey in the gym because they wanted to change how they looked. Like that's how I started. Like how did you start out personally, like in your gym like journey? Because I know personally for me, it was like I didn't like who I was as a person, so I wanted to fix myself. But that was before I found Jesus Christ, and I was like, oh, like this isn't the only way. Like, I can follow through Him and be a better person.
And we're not saying there's anything wrong with going to the gym. You can be a gym. You can be a gym Christian. I encourage everybody listening to this to be a gym Christian, because when you're a Christian, you're working on your spiritual and emotional and mental self, and when you're in the gym, you're working on your physical self.
It's great discipline too. I mean, even being a Christian, you have like humans aren't perfect. Everyone's gonna hate something, no matter how hard you try. Like, there's always something that gets on your nerves. Like, hate's a strong word. Yeah, there's something that gets on your nerves, right?
Yeah, and I think it's very easy. It's very easy to fall into hate, but But I think this is what makes. This is what kind of proves that in the Bible it says there's a wide road and a narrow road. Most people will go down the wide road
because there's a lot more to see.
Very few will go down the narrow road, and I think it's because it's so much easier to do evil than it is to do good. It's easier to hate somebody for punching you in the face than it is to say, hey, I don't know what you're going through. I want to hit you back, but I forgive you. And it's so much easier to go rob somebody and say, give me your wallet, I need to eat, than to work for your money and build yourself back up.
There's always going to be an easy way out. There's take lifting, for example. There's always going to be the people that do like 5 or 6 reps, right? But then there's always people that go to failure. And those are people you see fast, quick results, right?
Yeah.
So if you, like, there's always the, who can I take for example for this? I would say like bodybuilders, right? You know how they always like gain like really like muscle really fast, but look how they are like when they're older, they're all messed up, right?
Exactly.
But the guys who take it like one step at a time and they trust the process in getting there, like to their final destination, that's when they're truly happy, you know?
Exactly. And I think that that's a very good part of the gym, is that you get to work on yourself and let out that stuff. Because the reason I joined the gym, I was a very angry and hateful person because I was bullied. I was bullied all the time growing up.
I was bullied too. Bullying it's a terrible thing, obviously, but I feel like it helped me find myself more than I anticipated it. Because
your struggles make you who you are, so that's why I'm thankful.
It's always like there's always that saying that God gives His strongest warriors like His toughest challenges, right? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of my idea throughout life, is like it used to be like that why me mentality, right? Until eventually it was like, I know why it's happening to me. Exactly. It's like because I'm meant for better things, you know.
I heard this one quote, and it was, when life hands you a crap sandwich, you can either instead of going why me, you got to tell life, try me. Yeah. Because
keep going, I want more, sort of thing.
At the end of the day, Jesus is my Lord and Savior. I can handle anything, and nobody can touch me. Like,
you're never walking alone.
And I'm not saying nobody can touch me in a way of like y'all can't touch me because I'm dangerous. Yeah. What I'm saying is y'all can't touch me. Nobody can touch me because
nobody can touch my heart.
I have the Lord. No, nobody can touch me at all, because if someone were to break into the house right now, point a gun at my head and say, denounce Jesus, heck no, bro. I'll die for Jesus. Yeah. I would rather
I'd much
die.
rather die knowing that I followed Jesus to my very last moment than
exactly
die knowing that I gave up on him because of like a human interaction. That's like the best words.
Exactly. So if someone pointed a gun to my head and said, denounce Jesus right now, Who is you?
Like, who are you?
Who are you, bro? I know Jesus Christ. I know Jesus Christ. You know Jesus Christ? Because I know him. And he's my person. He's my best friend. That's my father. So if you want to go against me, you're gonna deal with Jesus and all of heaven's armies. So bring it, bro. Bring it.
Dude, there's always this thing, like, people, especially people like struggling a lot. They're always like, they feel like they're walking alone, but
Exactly.
you're never walking alone. Like, even if you feel, because I know there's times where I felt so alone, but I look back on it now and I'm like, I wasn't alone. I never was. There was always somebody there.
There's always something.
There's always somebody.
There's always that.
It's up to you to figure that out, though. You can't just be like, oh, like, I'm all alone and just like sit there and move about it. Like, no, you have to reach out. Like, Jesus is always there for you, but I feel like as a Christian, you have to reach out to him as well. Exactly. You have to keep up the relationship, because it's not just like a, oh, hey, how you been? It's like, it's a full on like relationship. Like, that is your father, you know.
Exactly, and I think, and this is a message to all my Christians right now. I want y'all to listen up. This is a message to not only all my Christians, but everybody. You can call yourself a Christian, but unless you're actively trying to grow your relationship with Christ, actively trying to make sure you talk to him on the daily, not only through prayer, but through worship music and through reading your Bible, you're not gonna go anywhere, because your relationship can't stay stagnant. Because if I want a relationship with Henry, if I want to say you're my best friend, bro, but I never want to hang out with you.
Yeah, that's not a relationship. That's just fronting. Like, that's what it is.
Exactly.
It's just putting up a face, right? Because I mean, I'm not saying I'm the best Christian as well. I mean, you know, I'm a newly, like,
we're both.
I'm a new Christian.
We're
you know?
both.
There's been times where I believed, like, I didn't believe in God, but then I look back on it now and I'm like, you always did. You just didn't want to admit it because you were scared. You were afraid to tell people that you were a Christian. And that's one thing that was big on me, is I was afraid to tell people I was a Christian. I was very it wasn't like I was afraid, like, oh, like, they're gonna beat me up. It was like, oh, like, I'm gonna be judged. And that's I've taken hits. I've taken punches. I'd much rather take punches than be judged personally. Like, that's how my mentality was. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, you can punch and judge me all you want, but I know my God, and I know Jesus. Exactly,
because there's another saying. It says, would you rather be judged here on earth by mere humans, or would you rather be judged by God? And I'd rather be judged by humans than be judged by God, because at the end of the day, who has the power to strike me down any second he wants?
There's this thing where it's like, if you knew tomorrow wasn't promised, how far would you go today? And that really got me thinking, because I was thinking about it, and I was like, who says God can't stop my heart right now?
Exactly.
Just like that, in this instant. And that's why, as a Christian, you should always be pushing yourself to be a better Christian, because you never know. Tomorrow he could strike you down, and you wouldn't. Like, take me for example. I wasn't as close with God as I am now, and if I had died back then, like, just like that, I wouldn't have been as proud as I am like right now.
Exactly.
You know.
I mean, I know for a fact that if I had died earlier in my life, like freshman, sophomore year, I wouldn't have made it to heaven, because I wasn't a true Christian, because I knew God. I didn't have a relationship with him.
Because there was, I grew up in a Christian home, and I always wore like a cross on my neck, but there was a point in time where this cross on my neck barely meant anything to me. And now it means everything to me. Like, I can't leave the house without it, because I know, because I enjoy wearing it, because yeah, it's flashy, it's like, it's cool jewelry, right? But I enjoy wearing it because it shows other people, like, my faith, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm a Christian. Like, this means like the world to me, right? Like, if I lose it, I will be upset, because it shows it. It was that part of going back to, like, oh, I was embarrassed, like, to show people I was a Christian, because I would tuck this chain, dude. I'm not lying. I would tuck this chain because I wouldn't want people to know, right? But now I'm flashing it out, right? Because I'm proud of who I am now, and that's one thing Jesus brought to me. Is like, I wasn't proud of who I was back then, and now I can look at myself and I'm like, I'm proud of who I am.
Exactly. Another thing I want to say is that Jesus has brought me far, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, I used to hate everybody. I used to hate Satan. I used to hate everybody who I thought deserved it, who I thought wasn't a real Christian. I was such a hypocrite, because I used to hate people who I didn't think deserved Jesus' love. I didn't think they were good enough. I hated Satanists. I hated murderers. I hated gays. I hated rapists. I hated all these people.
It's not about hate. It's about
But now, anytime I see a Satanist, anytime I see a rapist, anytime I see a murderer, anytime I see a gay, anytime I see somebody who has made the wrong life choices, even I want to give them a hug and tell them, yo, Jesus loves you, follow him. Because that, at the end of the day, that's what they deserve.
See, there's been times where I don't, like, I never felt, like, loved by anybody. But then you always go back. There's always, like, that. He's not, like, he was always, like, that fallback on, like, he still loves me. Like, no one in this world, no one on this earth could love me. But I know I'm still loved, you know?
He still loves me. He does.
It's cool knowing that. That's one thing. I was like, like, it was cool knowing that.
Exactly,
like,
bro.
Learning about it too, it was a crazy thing. I was like, yes, like this is who I am.
Exactly. But let's talk about I do want to talk about a story.
What story?
I'm gonna bleep their names out. The story.
Oof, what about that?
The main event story.
The main event story.
You wanna? I've heard about it, and when I talk about it, I want you to come in if I'm wrong.
All right.
But were you at that party?
I was in fact there, guys. It was a crazy story. It was a crazy night, and I felt bad. Do you want to start it off?
I'll start it off. Yeah. So what I heard from was that his girlfriend. I had heard this from Laura.
All right.
Lara.
I was with Lada there.
Lara told me, yeah, bro, Joe snapped. Like, she went crazy because Joe eat some of her cake that
shows how much hate is built up in people, dude. I see that, and I'm like, dude, that was me at one point. Like, I would snap, like, very quick to anger, and now it's like,
now we're peaceful.
It's not worth it. Yeah, I'd much rather be peaceful and at peace with myself and at peace with you than just cause problems. You know.
Exactly.
It's enjoyable being peaceful, and I look back on that now and I'm like, dude, that was not a peaceful time. I was stressing out.
But ended up trying to beat up John and try to slap him and stuff, and I was like, ain't no way. Here, you take it. You take it from here.
Alright. All of a sudden, I'm just eating my cake, right? It was a great cake, I will say. It was a fantastic cake. But according to what happened...
She was crazy, but she knew how to bake.
Oh, 100%. According to what happened, though, Josh out like, hey, can I throw this cake away? Because everyone's full, everyone's not going to eat it, right? So homeboy throws it in the trash can, right? So during this time, I'm munching on my cake, right? Having a fun time, just talking, enjoying, like, the little party, the little get-together, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I hear, stop, Joe, what are you doing? And she's, like, hammer fisting on his chest. Not, like, punches, like, straight punches. I'm talking, like, hammer fisting on his chest.
Like UFC, like, boom.
Yeah, like, you ever seen, like a gorilla, like, bang on the chest?
Yeah.
And you hear that, like, that changes their voice where it's, like, doo-doo-doo. You know what I'm talking about? That's what Josh saying, and you hear, like that doo-doo-doo in his voice.
Gosh.
And I was like, dude, like, what is happening? So he's, like, trying to, like, he's not... Props to him. He didn't, like, push her off. He's being respectful, but he's like, because, I mean, it's not going to hurt you. Like, you're a man, you're fine, right? Like, those aren't going to hurt you, but it hurts mentally more. Like, oh, like, my girlfriend's hitting me, right? Like, that's... But props to him. He didn't put his hands on her, nothing like that. He was just, like, stop. I trying to calm her down, right? So eventually her little girlfriends... I don't know what happened at this point. I guess her little girlfriends, like, pulled her off. But I had left by... I literally hopped the fence, and I hopped the fence and went around, like, to, like, the front little... Because there's a little outside patio. I had hopped the fence right there, went around and hid, like, behind the little thing, like, behind the big old column. Really? And I was like, man, I'm not dealing with that right now. I was having a good time with this shit. And I'm like, I'll wait for anybody. Chill out and go inside.
You want me to tell the rest of it?
You ready? Yeah.
Okay. So then, what I heard happen was that Lara was saying, like, he was like, yo, dude, you need, like, get your girl, like, chill. They pulled her off, and she was just like, F you, like, cussing him out, yelling at him. And he was just kind of there, right?
That's not a good relationship, bro. If I'm sorry, but if you're, like, cursing me out in a relationship, like, yeah, it's cool. Like, okay, like, I'm not gonna pretend like I don't curse. Like, I curse sometimes, right? I curse a lot. Like, it's cool. like cursing at him like a funny joking manner. But if you're cursing at him like truly like wishing like with true harm behind those like dude like true meaning behind those words, malicious intent. That's what I'm looking for. Yes, if you're truly speaking that is not your partner. That is someone that you do not wish to be around.
Exactly.
Like that is hatred on a whole other level. You can't say you love somebody and then curse them out like that.
You can't do that. Yeah.
No, even in like that rage of emotion, there's always that part of your head that's like, oh, I love that person. It's like I can't do that to him, you know.
That's crazy though.
Dude, it is crazy.
So there's some more added on to the story.
Yeah, I was inside of a jar this time.
So this was sophomore year. We're juniors right now. Sophomore year. Fast forward to
that night. Is this the same night? Because I have stories from the same night.
Yeah. We'll go to the same night because I was gonna talk about something that happened this year.
Oh, okay. Well, this year's crazy, but that same night, we were spending the night at one of my other friend's house, and it was fun. We had like a little sleepover, but like block her on everything. She's not worth it, right? Like, if she's gonna do that to you, she doesn't truly love you, right? So I was like, dude, just block her. You'll be okay. Like, it might take some time. Like, it might suck right now, but it'll be okay. It'll take time though, for sure. She called one of our homeboys on his phone. She tried texting me. I didn't respond back because I never liked her in the first place because how she treated you. But she called one of our friends, crying and bawling her eyes out. And dude, honestly, this is not my proudest moment, but I couldn't help but laugh when she was crying. Not my proudest moment, I will say that, but I could not help but laugh because the irony of the situation, like you hit him and then you curse him like through your words, and then you call crying like, please take me back. That right? Like it sounds so crazy. Like, dude, if I like, thank God I've never done this. I've never put my hands on any of my girlfriends. Like I've had a couple of girlfriends. I never put my hands on them, never cursed them, never had any of that.
Well, you might have done a little bit.
I've never hit somebody. No, I've never hit them. I've never done that because that's not the way my mama raised me, right? Like that's not how you do things around here, especially down south, right? Yeah. That's not how you do things. So like, it was always like, listen, my mom always told me, you'll never put your hands on a woman, but if she ever puts her hands on you, that does not mean it's okay.
Exactly.
That's when I was telling Josh, like what my mama told me. I was like, that is not okay for a woman to hit you. Like, yes, she's a woman, and yes, it may not hurt, but it may not hurt like you physically, but it'll hurt you up here, like the person I love is really hitting me right now.
It just messes with you.
Yeah, just because something like that, something so small can like set a fire in a person like that.
Exactly.
And towards the person that they so-called love, and I was like, dude, that is not okay.
Like, that's what are you doing? Like,
yeah, and then to call back crying, I'm like, dude, this is your fault. Like, you gotta own up to your mistakes. Like, yes, I made a mistake. I'm sorry, but
don't act like you ain't doing nothing.
Don't tell me you still love me if you're cursing me and hitting me. Like, yes, okay, people make mistakes. I understand that, right?
But that's not a mistake. That was over something small.
Yes, this was over something small, and this was not the first time either.
Exactly.
Which is why I'm like.
So what happened later that night?
It's the same. She called up one of our other buddies, and she was like crying on the phone. I couldn't help but laugh at it, and I was just like, oh my god. So John in the room, I'm like, John, here, it's whatever, right? Like, we'll be hanging out, we'll be cool. And she's like talking on the phone, like in the other room, and I hear her crying, and I'm like, I can't. Like, she's like, I'm so sorry. Tell him I'm sorry. This, and that. And I'm like, dude, don't listen to her, right? And that's pretty much what I told him. I was like, don't listen to her. She wants to keep you wrapped around her, like her finger, because she doesn't, like, she knows what she has. She knows what she did was a mistake, but she's not owning up to it. Like, yes, she can say I'm sorry all I want, but to truly own up to like a mistake, you gotta be like, I did this. This is what I did. Like, I did this. I know it was wrong, and I know what I did was terrible. I can't say I'm sorry for it because I still did it. I can say I'm sorry as many times as I want, but I still did it, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, I really, there's a difference between saying I'm sorry and saying like, please forgive me, right? Because it's like, at least in my eyes, because I can say I'm sorry all I want. I can be like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I didn't make it on time, right? Yeah. But I can be like, please, like, forgive, like, genuinely forgive me, because that was me. Yes, that was me who did that. That wasn't like some mythical little goblin hitting you. No, like no, like that was me who messed up. Like,
it was a goblin. Just
yeah, but I'm speaking out of like my eyes, like sort of. I was like that was me, right? Like, I messed up. Yeah. Please forgive me. Like, I'm not asking you to take me back, but just forgive me for what I did, because I don't want that on my conscience, right? Like I can't. But she didn't even say that. She just kept saying, I'm sorry. And I'm like, that's not how you apologize. Like, you own up to your mistakes, ask for forgiveness. That's all you can do. And don't lie about things, bro.
Oh, and then
you
on top of
cannot
that,
lie.
And then on top of that, she think she was gonna kill herself if he didn't get back with her? Yes. That's crazy to me. How you gonna, like, bro, don't do that. Don't put that on somebody's mom.
That is crazy.
But fast forward, okay, real quick. Fast forward to this year, right? Somewhere around, I believe it was somewhere around when school first started. I'm talking to a homegirl. Was like, yo, did you hear what happened with John? What? They got back together.
Yeah, I heard that.
I'm like, no shot. But then she's like, but then John cheated on her.
Yeah.
And then Joe started texting Alexa and basically screenshots and was like, yo, like, what the F is wrong with you? Bro, but tell me this. Wanted to take him to her homecoming and John's parents were like, no.
Yeah,
well,
if my parents don't like you, I don't like you, bro.
Exactly, but
like, for real,
if
like,
you...
My mama knows what's best for me. Like, my mama knows me best. My mama's like my savior. Right? This is a difference between like a mom and a mother. My mom is a mother, right? That's my mama, right?
That's a mama.
That is a mother. Like my mama would like die for me. That's one thing I love knowing is that I always have my mom to go back to, right?
Exactly.
That's what I love. But if my mom does not like you and does not approve of you, you are done.
You're gone. That's raps.
You had to do something terrible because my mom put up with me for like 15 years, bro. She's put up with me for as long as I've been on this earth, and I am a terrible, like, I annoy her so
we are
much.
little gremlins, dude.
Little gremlins to our mothers, our poor mamas, bro. But like,
oh my gosh,
if you annoy my mom off that much, she does not like you, and she does not think that you're the best for me. I'm sorry, you are not the best for me.
You're a goblin, then. You're a menace. But if y'all want part 2 of that story, let us know down below. This feels weird to say, but like, comment, subscribe, whatever, all that stuff. I'm doing this stuff for fun. I kind of like this.
Henny G will be back for sure.
Well, Henny G will definitely be back, bro. This is probably one of the best podcasts we've ever done in person.
More appearances too, you know.
So let's definitely have more appearances. If you want to be on the podcast, comment. I'd love to hear it. So yeah, we'll see y'all later, bro. What the boys cooking. Make sure to subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.